the biggest complaint I think people have about this movie is how somehow, again, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. sneaks his way into a movie.
Yes. Yes.
He's like, "Hey guys, I want in this movie," and like he has a lot of screen time. He has a couple.
Yeah,
He has
he
like
does.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scenes. 5 scenes in this movie. That's crazy.
I'll say this. I liked this movie in spite of Tony Stark being in it.
Okay. See, so
I definitely wish he wasn't in
yeah.
it, or at least not as much as he is. Like the beginning scene where he gives him the suit, I guess was good.
Mhm.
But I didn't need every other scene after that.
So let me give you some comic history. Spider-Man and Iron Man really didn't have a relationship like this until around Civil War, where at some point, right before Civil War, Spider-Man joined the Avengers. So Iron Man and Spider-Man were working together as the Avengers. Iron Man realized that Peter Parker was really smart and started kind of being his mentor. At some point, Spider-Man was in financial difficulties or something like that happened. So Tony Stark helped him out like
Mhm.
that. But then during the Civil War, Tony Stark convinced Peter Parker to reveal his identity to the world. And Spider-Man's secret identity was the biggest secret in Marvel, basically. Like no one really knew except a few people who Spider-Man was. And when he
Right.
revealed itself to the world, it was a big deal. And then Tony Stark did give Spider-Man a new Spider suit. It's the Iron Spider-Man suit. It's the same suit that you've seen in Avengers: Infinity War, where he has like the 4 legs in his back.
Mhm.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay.
That we saw that in the new trailer.
In the new
for
trailer, that's the Iron Man suit. So in the comics, Tony Stark gives him that suit, and Peter uses it. But then Peter realizes that that Tony Stark was on the wrong side of the Civil War, and he leaves, and they end up having to fight and all kinds of stuff. And it's a long story. But in the that's how the Tony Stark Peter Parker relationship happened in the comics, and this movie is taking that relationship sort of the same way. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind.
Okay. I can see that, and it does happen after Civil War in the MCU.
Exactly.
So
So it's actually really interesting. Marvel is taking aspects of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics and the Civil War comics and kind of blending them. Not seamlessly. There's some problems, but overall, it's working out pretty good. And I like the narrative arc of the story. Like Tom Holland has a super suit. He's being Spider-Man, but he's not taking it as seriously as he should. And then people almost die. Tony Stark takes the suit back, and then Peter Parker has to just use his powers that he has, and his just own grit. Like that scene where the Vulture collapses the building on top of Peter Parker. You remember that scene?
yeah, yep,
So and then Peter Parker has to lift the building off of him. Like that's
right.
directly from the comics. There's a scene where Spider-Man is trapped under a building and he has to be like, "Come on, you can do this, you can do this," and it's like a really emotional scene. So that's my favorite part is
Okay.
when Peter Parker is stuck in that building. He's like, screaming for help, and then he realizes if I'm going to be a hero, I have to be a hero. I have to just get out of this myself and stop this from happening. Which is really
Right.
good. I thought that was great. I thought that the whole arc was fantastic.